Have you ever wondered why, despite taking cholesterol-lowering medications, eating less fat, and even exercising regularly, some people still suffer from heart attacks or strokes? What if I told you that the real cause of artery clogging plaques isn't just cholesterol, and that the true culprit is something far more complex and insidious that most doctors never talk about? Let's uncover the real story behind vascular plaques and what you can do to protect your heart and brain without blindly relying on statins. We've all been taught to fear cholesterol. For decades, the message has been simple: lower your cholesterol, and you'll lower your risk of heart disease. But science is catching up with something ancient wisdom and cutting-edge research both suggest. Cholesterol isn't the enemy. In fact, it's part of your body's natural healing system. Here's what actually happens. Your blood vessels are lined with a delicate, one-cell thick layer called the endothelium. It's incredibly sensitive. When it gets damaged by high blood sugar, toxins, infections, or even chronic stress, your immune system leaps into action. The site becomes inflamed, and the body rushes to repair the damage. That's where cholesterol comes in. It's not the cause of the problem, it's the patch. Think of it like nature's Band-Aid helping to stabilize damaged vessel walls. So why do plaques form? It's not because cholesterol is evil, it's because the damage and the inflammation never stops. And now, researchers are finding that one of the most overlooked triggers of this ongoing inflammation is infection. Yes, viral and bacterial infections can cause microscopic damage to the blood vessels. Certain strains of herpes viruses, for instance, and bacteria like chlamydia pneumonia have been found inside arterial plaques. Even gut dysbiosis, when the balance of microbes in your intestines is off, can contribute to chronic inflammation in your arteries. This makes you wonder, if inflammation is at the root of plaque formation, shouldn't we be focusing on that instead of just lowering cholesterol numbers? Let's talk about statins for a moment. These are the go-to drugs for millions of people. They do lower LDL cholesterol, but did you know that statins don't actually dissolve plaques? They simply reduce the inflammatory markers in your blood and may stabilize plaques, so they're less likely to rupture. That's helpful, but it's treating the symptom, not the root cause, and statins come with side effects: muscle pain, cognitive fog, and in some cases, increased risk of diabetes. For women, especially those approaching menopause, the picture gets even murkier. Many women in this age group experience elevated cholesterol levels due to low thyroid function, a condition called hypothyroidism. The thyroid slows down, metabolism drops, and cholesterol goes up. Prescribing statins in this case doesn't fix the root cause. Supporting the thyroid would. Here's another piece of the puzzle: bile. Cholesterol is supposed to be removed from the body through bile, a fluid made by your liver and stored in your gallbladder. Bile helps digest fats and also carries excess cholesterol into the intestines so it can leave the body. But if bile isn't flowing properly, due to a sluggish liver, poor gallbladder function, or a sedentary lifestyle, then cholesterol starts to build up. This isn't a mystery. It's basic physiology. Yet how often do you hear doctors talk about optimizing bile flow when discussing heart disease? And then there's the lymphatic system. This silent workhorse helps remove waste and inflammation from your tissues. If it's congested because you don't move enough, are chronically stressed, or have a sluggish liver, then inflammatory byproducts just sit there, and that keeps your blood vessels irritated, increasing the risk of plaque formation. Let's shift focus now from problems to solutions, because this is where it gets hopeful. The first thing to understand is that healing the endothelium and reducing inflammation is entirely possible. You just need to support your body's natural processes. Two systems that play a crucial but often overlooked role in this healing process are the lymphatic system and bile flow from the liver and gallbladder. Let's start with the lymphatic system. It's like your body's drainage and detox network, removing waste, excess fluid, and inflammatory byproducts from your tissues. Unlike the circulatory system, the lymphatic system has no central pump. It depends entirely on movement, breathing, and muscle contractions to function. That means regular gentle movement throughout the day is essential, not just for fitness, but to literally clear inflammation from your body. Walking, yoga, stretching, and deep diaphragmatic breathing are excellent for activating lymph flow. Even light bouncing on a mini trampoline, rebounding, or simply shaking out your limbs can dramatically improve lymphatic circulation. Dry brushing, using a natural bristle brush on dry skin in the direction of the heart, is another simple technique that stimulates lymph flow. Staying hydrated is also crucial. The lymphatic fluid is mostly water, so even mild dehydration can slow it down. And don't underestimate the power of restorative sleep. The lymph system is most active at night, especially in the brain, where it's called the lymphatic system. Now let's talk about bile, which is essential for fat digestion, and just as importantly, the removal of toxins and excess cholesterol. Bile is made in the liver and stored in the gallbladder, and it's supposed to flow into the intestines when you eat. But modern sedentary lifestyles, low-fat diets, and chronic stress often lead to sluggish bile flow or bile stagnation, which contributes to poor digestion, bloating, and cholesterol buildup. To support bile flow, you need to stimulate the liver and gallbladder. One of the best ways is to eat bitter foods. Arugula, dandelion greens, radicchio, artichokes, and citrus peel all trigger bile release. Drinking a warm glass of water with lemon or apple cider vinegar before meals can gently stimulate bile production. Herbs like milk thistle, turmeric, artichoke extract, and burdock root support liver detox and bile flow as well. Adequate healthy fats, like olive oil or avocado, in the diet are also important. Ironically, extremely low-fat diets can worsen bile stagnation. Physical movement helps here too, especially torso twisting, stretching, and abdominal massage. These gently compress the liver and gallbladder area, encouraging flow. And don't forget regular bowel movements. Bile needs to be excreted, and constipation can lead to reabsorption of toxins. In summary, supporting your lymphatic and bile systems doesn't require extreme measures. It just requires consistent daily care, movement, hydration, rest, mindful eating, and targeted natural support. When these systems flow freely, your body becomes far more efficient at clearing inflammation, healing vessel walls, and preventing the buildup of arterial plaque. Next, think about sleep. Poor sleep increases inflammation. It raises your cortisol, disrupts your blood sugar, and impairs immune function. Good, deep sleep is not a luxury. It's medicine. Aim for 7 to 9 hours per night. Get morning sunlight. Cut off screens at least an hour before bed. These simple habits regulate your circadian rhythm, which in turn helps your body heal. Then there's diet. Trans fats and refined sugars are inflammation bombs. They literally damage the endothelium and invite immune chaos. But a diet rich in colorful vegetables, healthy fats like olive oil and omega-3s, and high-fiber foods can actually reverse some of that damage. Garlic, turmeric, and ginger have natural anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial properties. Bitter foods like dandelion greens or arugula stimulate bile. It's not about eating clean, it's about eating to heal. Also, don't forget your gut. An imbalanced microbiome contributes to systemic inflammation. If you frequently feel bloated, have irregular bowel movements, or get sick often, your gut may be crying for help. Probiotics, fermented foods, and prebiotic fibers can make a huge difference. In some cases, you may need to eliminate parasites or fungal overgrowth. That's where functional testing can help. And what about alternatives to statins? There are many, especially for people whose cholesterol issues stem from deeper causes. Addressing hypothyroidism with the right thyroid support, sometimes including natural desiccated thyroid or T3 medication, can bring cholesterol down naturally. Supporting liver function with herbs like milk thistle, artichoke, and beetroot helps improve bile flow. And eliminating chronic infections, whether bacterial, viral, or parasitic, can dramatically reduce vascular inflammation. One of the most powerful but overlooked practices is deep relaxation. Chronic stress weakens your immune system, raises blood pressure, and turns minor irritations into full-blown inflammation. Breathwork, meditation, prayer, time in nature, these aren't just spiritual practices. They're anti-inflammatory medicine. It's also worth noting that high blood pressure, often treated aggressively with medication, can be a downstream symptom of this whole process. When your arteries are inflamed and stiff, your heart has to work harder to push blood through. Lowering the pressure without addressing the inflammation is like painting over rust. You might hide the problem, but you haven't fixed it. So here's the big idea. Vascular plaques are not the result of too much cholesterol. They're the result of a body trying to patch up damage caused by chronic inflammation, much of it due to infections, poor detoxification, and a modern lifestyle that's completely out of sync with how we're designed to live. This isn't conspiracy. It's science. It's just a kind of science that doesn't get much airtime in 5-minute doctor visits or pharmaceutical commercials. Because the real solution isn't found in a pill. It's found in restoring your body's own capacity to heal. If you're over 50, this matters more than ever. Because age isn't the problem. The problem is cumulative inflammation. But the good news is that you can reverse this process by making choices that support your immune system, your liver, your thyroid, and your gut. So the next time you hear someone say, just take this statin and don't worry, Remember, your body isn't broken. It's responding to signals. And when you change the signals by moving more, sleeping better, eating real food, and addressing hidden infections, you can change your future. No one is too old to start healing. The real secret isn't how to fight cholesterol. It's how to support the systems that keep your arteries clean in the first place. And that secret, it starts with understanding. And now, you know, thanks for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on new helpful videos.